Yep.
Okay, we're leaving BP North now. We should have left most of the traffic behind. The traffic isn't so bad at the moment. I thought I'd tell you a bit about myself. I've been riding now again for about 5 years, just like everyone else. This is a strange thing, even though I'm pretty unusual compared to most people. I still do a lot of the things that they do. So there's no end of people my age riding around on motorbikes. I'm actually a member of a group here in Australia called Ulysses. There's 26,000 of us, so we go off for Sunday rides and things like this. It's really good. This ride I'm going on today, we're just on our way to Mount Mee, and to go across, because that's a beautiful ride. It's a ride I do when I'm not really doing much of a ride. It's only most probably about 140 k's from home back to home again, maybe 160. Quite a lot of rides we go on are about 500, which sometimes that gets to be a bit much. You're not here to kill yourself, we're out here to enjoy it. But I really love being on the motorbike. Gives you plenty of time for thinking. And I've had this motorbike up to about 200 k's an hour, but I don't do that very often. I think, because you always do a bit of silly stuff. You can't have a motorbike and not go too fast. I nearly killed myself a few times, but it's quite amazing. Being a cruiser, sometimes when you're on these mountain roads, you turn the bike, but it just refuses to turn. And you think, oh my God, I'm going out bush now. But luckily so far I've always managed to do it again and it decides to turn. I don't know what sort of glitch there is in that. Maybe something on the tyre pressure or something, maybe not quite right. But so far I haven't gone down to the bush, touch wood. But this ride is one of the most beautiful. I'd say it's one of the two most dangerous roads in Queensland for motorbikes, according to the insurance company. And on a Sunday, the sports bikes, they really go through here and they end off down the ditch quite regularly. So I know that most of you guys are into sports bikes. I'm glad I'm not, because I wouldn't be alive if I was into a sports bike. I love the cruiser because you can actually cruise. I go usually about 10 k's over the speed limit, and that usually is pretty good for me. You can feel and smell everything. We're really lucky to have this hinterland, which we go on a few trips for them. But anyway, going off, we're still on the motorway here. We'll get off of this pretty shortly. I'd like to just talk a bit about the 2012, because I'm combining this riding of motorbikes with riding the motorbike and some of my thoughts. You get plenty of time for thinking on a motorbike, which is good. So I'm trying to, I don't really expect the planet to do a planetary shift, or volcanoes to go popping off, or meteors to come crashing out the sky and destroy us in 2012, December of 2012 or something like this. Though a lot of people really are worried. And as I said before, I've lived long enough to, they can get you going with all this stuff. It's part of the tricks that they play. That they do get you worried. Think, oh my God, in 3 years nothing's going to be here, we're all going to be blown to bits. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think one thing that they don't get about, and that is that people are starting to wake up to them. And we are beginning to realise that we should work together, we should love one another, we should be able to go along in harmony. Because, like, sometimes when you talk about aliens, people say, hey, are aliens bad. Imagine if you come all the way across 10 galaxies or something, maybe a couple of million light years away. They come off just to eat us or hassle us on this little planet. No, they wouldn't get the technology or other stuff like this to be able to travel the enormous distances that would have to come to get us. I don't know whether aliens exist or not. I've got a feeling they should do, really. It'd be pretty stupid if they didn't. But they're not likely to be warring like us and want to eat us, basically, because you have to survive long enough to get the technology that could bring them across half a galaxy or a few galaxies. So this I read once, and I thought this is pretty true. So I don't really think aliens are out here waiting to come along and invade us or do anything like that. But all these fears they get, the worst one is this terrorist fear. Like, who can make anything out of that? This 9/11 seems a bit smelly to me, but I've no idea what happens there. But the thing is, the governments have done some pretty bad things, these false flag things. And all they are using it's not going to stop terrorism, it's stopping us from doing things. Their cameras, their face recognition, their everything, their bank accounts. God help us having these computers, they know everything we're doing. And that shouldn't be. We used to be, and when I was growing up, you wouldn't let the government get away with anything if you could help it, because we don't trust the government. And now we're all being goody guys because they've got us in fear about terrorists and other things like this. But the fact is that these terrorists aren't as clever as that. They're working on their thing, and that's controlling us. They've taken away in Australia all of our guns, they've taken away all of our rights. They can come pick us up at the house and the neighbours are not allowed to say anything. And you look how bad they look. Criminals used to have balaclavas on so they couldn't recognise. But you look at policemen nowadays, they're nothing but wearing balaclavas. So I'm afraid this isn't right. I've got nothing against policemen, I've got nothing against politicians, I've got nothing against anybody, because we're all people. And it is up to us all. It's up to us all to learn and to stop the government having its way and stop these evil forces from having their way. And I think this is from giving, and not from violence, not from doing anything like this, but using our brain, open our mind, think, try to live a good life so we can recognise, oops, I think I'm taking the wrong turn here. So, but anyway, I think it looks like I've taken the wrong turn. I'll come back after I've turned this turn. So I'll catch you all later.